Okay, so we've had a look at converting decimals to fractions, and now we're going to go the other way. We're looking at converting fractions to decimals. There's two ways of doing this, depending on what the denominator of the fraction is. The first way is the easiest way to do it mentally, but it only works with certain denominators. The second way, which I'll look at in the next lesson, works with all fractions, but it is a written method that you need to use to do it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use equivalent fractions, which means we're going to turn every fraction into 10, 100 or 1000. That means that the denominator has to be a factor of 10, a factor of 100 or a factor of 1000. So if we think of our factors of 10, 2 and 5 are the likely factors of 10 that we're going to need to convert into tenths. If we're looking at converting something into hundredths, we're looking at denominators of 4, 20, 25 or 50. And if we're 8, 40 or 125, we're looking at trying to get up to 1000 because 8 times 125 gives me 8 times 125 gives me 1000. Okay, so let's take a look at this first example. We've got 32 out of 100. That's a nice easy one because it's already given as a fraction out of 100. So we just write it into our place value table. Here, there's my hundredths column, so the 2 must go in there, so 32 out of 100, and I need to put my 0 in the decimals column. So the answer there is simply 0.32. Here, I've got 3 out of 5. Now, we look at our rules up here. 5 goes into 10, so I'm going to change this to a fraction out of 10. That means I'd have to times by 2, so I'm going to need to do the same up here. Times by 2 would have given me 6 out of 10. So looking up here at my tenths column, the 6 goes in there, needs to put my 0 in the units column, is going to give me 0.6. 7 out of 20. So 20 goes into 100, so I'm going to need to change it to a fraction out of 100. I'm going to need to times by 5, so I'm going to need to times by 5 up here. 7 times 5 is going to give me 35. So again, in my hundredths column, my 5 goes in there, so 35 gives me 0.35. The last one, 3 out of 8, well, 8 goes into 1000 125 times. So it's out of 1000. That is timesing by 125. Need to do the same up here. Times by 125. 3 times 125 gives me 375. 375 out of 1000. The 5 goes into the thousands column, so 375. It gives me an answer of 0.375. Pause the video while you take down the worked examples, and then we'll have a go at some questions on our own. Okie dokie, so here are 8 questions for you to try, making sure that you're converting them into a fraction with a denominator of 10, 100 or 1000, and then use that to change them into decimals. Pause the video, give it a go, and then we'll mark our work. Okay, so here are the 8 solutions. Just take care of a couple of things. The last one here, timesing by 125, is quite difficult. There is an alternative way to do that, which we'll look at in the next scale. Here, just be really careful. You've got 24 over 1000. It's common to write that as a mistake as 0.24. It must be 0.024 because you need to make sure that that 4 is in the thousandth column. Okay, mark your work, please. Give yourself a mark out of 8. If you want to if you need to do any further revision on this topic, please take a look at Hegarty clip number 73. Well done.